Hey there, welcome to the channel. This channel is all about professional coding practices. In this video I'm gonna show you how to move from DockerHub to Amazon ECR while using GitHub Actions. We're gonna create public repositories in an AWS ECR. We're gonna create a user that has the required permission to pull and push images, etc. to the public repositories. We're gonna add secrets to the new user in our GitHub project. We're gonna update GitHub Actions in our project to push to this new location. We're going to update script for building, pulling and pushing images in our codebase. We're going to test all this out. So let's get started. Our Dockerized application has two repositories in DockerHub, one for the API and one for the frontend. We are going to want to replicate these in Amazon ECR. So let's head over to the Elastic Container Registry in AWS. Let's get started. Let's create the first public repository. We're going to keep the namespace, guess the name API. You can write a short description and API for the application. It's Linux and that's it. Then we're going to do the same for the front end. So create a repository, public, this is the name. And we can write a short description, the front end for the application. Create that. Alright. Next we want to create a dedicated user for our GitHub Actions. So let's head over to IMI. Let's start with creating a policy. So create a new policy. We're going to select registry, Elastic Container Registry public. We're going to allow read, list, tag, write, except for create repository, delete repository, and delete repository policy. Resources, it's going to be all resources, and then next, ECR.public GitHub.policy. Policy to allow GitHub Actions to push and pull images. Create policy. Let's create a user group. Create group. Let's call it ECR public GitHub group. And let's attach this policy. Create group. And let's create a user and let's call it ECR public GitHub user. And let's allow programmatic access and let's attach this group. Next. Alright, looking good. Now our user is ready. Let's head over to our repository in GitHub, and there under settings you can find it here below security secrets and secrets for our actions. So here we have a DockerHub token, a DockerHub username for pushing to DockerHub, but we are gonna add secrets for AWS ECR. So we're gonna add the access key ID and we're going to put our secret here, the credentials that we saved from the previous step, and we're going to put it here in and add the secret, and then we're going to do the same for the secret. We're going to create AWS ECR secret, and here we're going to put in our secret from AWS. Now we have these secrets available in GitHub Actions. Here I have our codebase, so the workflows are in hidden folder, .github, workflows, here it is. So here we have the current workflow that's logging into DockerHub, using our secrets, and then building and pushing the code via these scripts. So now we need to modify these for connecting to ECR. First, we are no longer connecting to DockerHub, so let's remove this. and replace it with configure AWS credentials. We're using an action here that's connecting with node 16, and here are our secrets from DockerHub that we configured in the previous step, and our region is US East 1. Next, we're gonna need a step to connect to ECR. So let's add that here. The name of the step, login to Amazon public ECR. We can have this ID here for other steps to reference these steps if you want to output from this one. And we're gonna use Amazon ECR login. And nota bene, this is very important. The registry type is public because we're connecting to a public repository. Lastly, we need to update the build and push scripts so that we are connecting to Amazon ECR. One way to go about that would be to provide an environment here that the scripts can use and read the registry from the output of this step. But this isn't actually returning the namespace, and since this is hard-coded, this is a public registry, this is always going to be the same. We're just going to skip this for now and let the scripts here be responsible of figuring that out. You can find the base path for our registries here in Amazon ECR until URI, so it's the first path, public ECR AWS, and then the number of the namespace. We need to update our scripts to connect to ECR. So let's define a variable here for the base path of ECR, and let's use it here and here. We probably want to remove this duplication from everywhere, so let's create a file. Here we have it. So let's just source this file everywhere. Here, here, and here. The simplest way to try this out before merging is simply to create a branch with this name, push to ECR. So this way we will see if our code gets pushed to ECR. Let's wait for these builds. There was an error here, so let's check it out. So log in to Amazon ECR. So STS get bearer token. This user is missing this permission. So let's fix that. We're back in AWS. We need to create a new policy. So let's do that. And let's choose here STS as our service. And then the permission we were lacking, get service bearer token. Next. And let's call it public, ECR public STS policy. Let's now add this policy to our group. So we go here to our ECR public GitHub group and permissions, and add permissions, add policies, this one. Alright, we're done. Let's now rerun our jobs. Our rerun was successful, so let's take a look at it. So let's take a look at build and push images. So here is building, here is pushing. This seems good. So let's check out ECR, see if our images are there. Alright, great success. And here as well, latest and the newest commit. Our standard Docker Compose file doesn't pull any images externally, but I have this other Docker Compose file that is pulling images. So we want to change this so it's actually pulling from our ECR. So let's add that here. So let's try this out. First, we need to connect Docker to ECR. So if you go to Amazon ECR, you can see here push commands. So here is retrieve an authentication token and authenticate your Docker client to your registry. So we can use this one. So but we are gonna select the profile that we're using. Let's try this out. Alright, let's check out the web page. Whoa, it's working! This was it. Don't forget the hard-coded branch. Now, if we merge these changes, we can do something more in AWS. For example, create automated deployments. Please like and subscribe if you want more. Thank you.